Oh, yeah.
Good show, everybody.
We got a name?
Of a title?
Yeah.
You know that we just stopped the show, right?
Wow.
I
apologize. I apparently
So
overstepped the boundary of some variety.
I love you guys, but sometimes you give me unrealistic timetables.
Also, not actually expecting you to magically have it.
No's an appropriate answer.
Right. So
See, Bryce, what you got to do is just hit him with a no. Just go no.
I'm a pleaser. I'm a people
No.
pleaser.
No.
Or maybe even, yes and. Maybe good question. Why don't we pull up the thing and
Well, I'm
decide
sorry I
it
hurt your
together?
feelings. I'm sorry I hurt your feelings.
So what
Tell
is
you what,
happening
those
now?
scorpions gave him a hell of a sting.
I'm telling you, man, the Scotch.
All right, here's my lovely wife.
I remember a fiance. I never saw the thing. No.
It's fine.
Mazel tov, brother.
Cheers.
How great is being married?
It's amazing.
It's like literally
It's great.
like we grew up with comedians bitching about how awful
Take
it was.
my wife, please, right? Yeah.
And oh my god, is being married one of the greatest experiences of life? Like holy shit.
Let me just say
we were
this.
lied to.
Being married is great if you want to be ambitious. Because, like, if you are ambitious and you are also trying to fuck, like, that's a lot of time that you do not have to be ambitious, and it's a lot of support that you are not getting from somebody else on that journey.
Dark days when things are not going your way, to have somebody who holds you and says, no matter what, I still love you, and mean it.
Very easy.
It saves you from putting a gun in your mouth
Indeed,
sometimes.
right? Yeah. No, it is the best.
It really is.
So, my wife,
to your wife,
cheers again.
to my wife,
Ashley,
Jessica.
yeah, and Jessica, cheers.
And to Bonnie.
Oh yeah, wow.
We were just talking about how great it is to be married. Like,
So-
isn't being married like what I had mentioned was, it's weird. We grew up like the whole big joke was how
Max
awful being
Trove, at least I
married
didn't
was.
get banned this week.
But instead, it's like we grow up, we get married, and it's like holy shit! Why
that was a
why
weird
was this
thing,
shit
right?
on? Like this is awesome.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
No.
Well, the problem is,
I think it was that weird.
Yeah, there was.
hey, hi guys.
Hey.
I
guess we'll
I
do
think
that
the
later.
problem is that
Somebody gave the show a B-.
B minus.
Works
In fact,
for me.
I'm
It's the
by
best
way,
show ever.
I'm in for that for title. Real quick before we go too far. So about how good the Scotch is.
Yes.
My wife once told me a very wise thing about wine, that you should stop drinking the wine when the wine starts tasting like grape juice. This is so good that I will probably not stop when it starts tasting like just honey water, like delicious, like elixir of the god. Honey water, as it has already started to taste in my mouth. It's so fucking good.
It is super fucking crazy. It so breaks my heart that you guys broke the.
Oh no! That crumbled immediately.
I imagine.
Yeah.
This thing is this is kind of ancient.
yeah, I was impressed that he was able to extract it like with surgeon-like precision.
People are joking about how long the corkscrew is, but you know what? There's no cork in this fucking Scotch at all.
Hey,
well
so
played.
real quick, let's pick a title and then let's play a new game I like to call Bet on a Scale of 1 to 10 how much Cargill was actually in love with the Green Lantern during the draft.
All right. We got titles.
It's
Oh my god, by the way, how amazing is it that we are like getting dangerously close to a decade of fucking blackmail
God.
material for any of especially the regulars that have been on this show for as long as possible.
Plus 20 shirt of name dropping is pretty great.
Plus 20 shirt of name dropping.
Dropping names with Robert.
I really love B minus. I think B
B-minus
minus is kind of
B minus, like
Well,
literally,
let's-
I am
let's-
not
hey,
exaggerating.
let's-
That is the only review I actually read
I-
of my movie.
I liked It's All True, isn't it? What else?
yeah. I
Toss
like,
salad before you eat.
We could do B minus.
Jesus motherfucker Scotch. Multiple people said Jesus motherfucker Scotch. I like B minus a lot.
I'm fine with that. I was rather fond of leather tits, but then again, that was mine. Like all one word.
leather tits.
Yeah, I
Always
think B
smell
minus
your
is good.
Scotch, kids. Your fans are so weird, and I love them. I get to interact with some of them on Twitter, and it is delightful.
All right, well, here, since this is just for the hardcore people that are either watching live or subscribe on Patreon or are looking this stuff up afterward, people have been asking.
All right.
What's up with this T-shirt? You left this T-shirt. You tried to avoid the T-shirt.
Man, motherfucker,
What T-shirt?
I don't remember any T-shirt.
What T-shirt?
Just saying.
I mean, if there was,
Okay.
I must have
I'm the only
forgotten.
one.
All right. So for those of you that want the real
Did
story,
Nope.
Forget?
I think we're done. I think we're good.
Okay.
Hey, did I tell you I loved your movie so much I tried to become Doctor Strange by fucking out my hands?
I saw those tweets. Yeah, you and a drone, right?
Yeah. But now, like Doctor Strange, I used to rely on my manual skill, so now instead I must rely on my wits and become a wizard.
Well, it's a good thing because you used the right hand, because the right hand is for the mouse, and the left hand
Where the action's
typing.
at.
Typing. Everyone,
Typing, yeah.
typing is what your other hand is good for.
You just like try to just type
Getting
it out.
married. How great is that, right?
That was one of my favorite summaries of like why 2016.
Sometimes when you're married, you gotta type in the bathroom, like just before you take a shower, like just to get it out. You know, every once in a while, right?
yeah. Sure,
Gentlemen?
we got. I guess we got a clip.
You got to use your mouse in the.
We don't have any
oh my God,
time
you're so
codes.
young.
This is just.
You're so young.
I know, Jesus. Stargrove.
SFW, we bring back our Summer Movie Fantasy League. Me and Brian are joined by Sarah Lane, Cargill, Tom Merritt, and Raygun 01 himself, Jason Howe. We
Jason Murphy.
divvy
You
up all
mispronounced.
the
I think
Summer
I
movies,
mispronounced
and we will
Jason
see
Murphy.
who is best set to take the summer. Also, Andrew Main's got a big contest for his new book, The Grendel Shadow, and we play an April Fool's Day prank that you won't believe. It's all coming up on this edition.
There we go. It's at 4026.
Out of curiosity, is this the episode where we do?
Playing in the ballpark of several of the other things, even Pirates of the Caribbean.
Okay.
It's got Spielberg's thing over it. How about a little movie above the title called E.T.? Not enough? How about Goonies? Not enough? How about
Is this the episode where we watched?
No.
It's not the one where we.
No.
That one. Wow, where I was like, "Fuck you, put it back."
Yeah.
Somebody find.
No, please don't.
Yes.
Because she's a friend, and we don't want to unearth
come on,
that.
That's ancient history.
It's
That's
really
also
ancient
not
history.
our decision to make. She made a request of us. We honored that request. We let it go. We had
to
her
never
on.
to never have it be shown again.
Well, no, she had a whole thing. She got it yanked, and we even had a whole show where all we did was apologize for doing that. And she said that's really nice of you guys to let this be in the past as a moment of awkwardness.
All right,
But I suppose there's the
let it-
outside
let's
chance
let
that
it lie.
8 years later, one of you will have half a bottle of scotch and insist that we revisit it.
there is only half left. So, that
I
is
mean,
a
also, it's
possibility.
like we're not trying to blow up the thing. We're trying to revisit the reaction.
Yeah, my reaction was my
You know what?
reaction was a little.
It was a fine chapter.
You know what? That was a great time in the past, but let's.
And I was
revisit-
really proud of
let's
what
revisit one of
classy
my-
guys we were.
Let's revisit one of the times where me wearing my my ancient space cowboy George Papard died for you shirt tells you about why Green Lantern is my pick for the summer of what 2010,
2011, yeah.
this looks like an 80s movie, and everyone's going to think it is.
You just got served, son. All right, it's Green Lantern now. I will open the bid at 15 Brian bucks.
Whoa, what was I thinking?
I'll do 25.
What? 25? But you let Thor go for like $2 and a scratch on the neck?
It's got Ryan Reynolds. What are you gonna do?
Oh my God! You did buy Thor.
25 to Cardinal for Green Lantern. Going once.
26.
Whoa! Was that Tom?
I'll do 30.
Wow! Power
That's my
play.
This is why I'm not good at this game.
I'll split it with you. We'll go 30 each.
We want to go halvesies?
Wow, look at that hair. God, I miss that hair.
Okay,
sometimes.
anyone else?
Wow.
Wait, so what, are we at 30 and that's it? 30 going once?
Hey.
Wait, 30 what?
30 car gold.
Car
30 car
gold.
gold. Going once, going twice.
That's good. Wow.
Sold.
Wow,
to
that was
Cargill
back
for
when I was trying to
$30.
auctioneer
Wild.
and switch
All right,
and
Cars
try to be
2.
interesting. Or
You know what? I'm
anything.
looking at that. For some reason, I mistook that for my Space Cowboy shirt. Instead, that was my a community shirt from first season. That was Adderall Annie.
Gatewag throwing
arrow.
shade, saying bad auctioneering, not wearing enough shirts. Look, man, we all got our gimmicks. I had the wacky hair. So what else are
We
you
missed
excited
that
about?
hair.
Yeah, no, I miss having an excuse for it. But yeah, I realized that the hair was just me wearing my McDonald's uniform. It was my day job while I did my night job on the internet. Because you can't walk on stage and say, I'm a crazy blood. Forget what you think you know about magic. It's blood and guts and crazy. And then, but when you get on the internet, it's like it's such a dedicated cut. I couldn't do anything else. So,
Dude, here's a time to tell this story again.
Uh-oh.
It's funny. My 30th birthday, like this is 11 years ago.
wow.
Think about that.
Wow.
This is 2006. I'm turning 30. I've got a birthday at my house, and you show up at about 11 o'clock
Oh,
at night.
I worked your birthday party.
And you were like, I didn't bring a present, but I kind of, on my way over, I was like, well, I could perform. And then I was like, that's the douchiest thing ever. Hey, your birthday present is me doing my bits.
Yeah.
And I was like, actually, that'd be pretty cool. I've never gotten to see you live. I've only seen your recordings. I would love to see you live. That would be great. And so, like, we've got rock band. Like, we've got rock band going on in the living room. And I go in and I'm like,
It
hey,
was
guys.
pre-Rock Band. It was Guitar Hero.
It was Guitar Hero. That's
1.
what it was. It was Guitar Hero 1. And so I go in and I'm
Damn.
like, hey, guys.
Journey with us back into a time called the aughts.
Yeah, man.
And I go into my living room and I'm like, hey, guys, you guys got to come inside. I've got a buddy. He's a magician. He's going to do an act out back. And one of my friends is like, I had a magician at my birthday party when I was 7.
Yeah.
And so everybody kind of comes out and they're like, what the fuck are we going to see? And then it's Brian doing all of his A material. Like he's fire breathing. He's fucking, he's putting the nail.
Did the book test that was before
It was the
you
first
helped,
book test.
right? Yeah. The first proto version of that.
It was the pro version of the book
Wow.
test where we had a friend who thought it was J for giraffe.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And everybody, and you were just like, oh, sweetie, how do you spell giraffe? And it was even better. The trick failed, but it failed in a way that everyone still talks about.
it was great. It was great.
It's like I saw this magic trick fail once in the best way possible because it was supposed to be the letter G.
Yep,
and
yep.
she's like, no, it's J. And you're like, J. Oh, honey, how do you spell
Well,
giraffe?
look, okay.
J-I.
I
And
think
her boyfriend's like,
Oh no! Oh no!
it was kind of amazing, but no, you actually, it was so great. That's one of my favorite birthday memories is having this crazy stupid party where you showed up and like, I'm gonna do 30 bits of material. We had a friend who almost passed out when you put the nail in
Oh,
your
yeah,
eye.
yeah.
Like it was great. It was
well, and that's one of
fantastic.
those, and you know how it goes, where it's like you're famous everywhere but your hometown, right? So it's
Yeah.
like to everyone there, I was just a guy who had too much and argued about movies and said he drops names too much, man, and then not. But at any rate, yeah, that was a cool moment. So what else are you excited about this year in movies? What's going to be the next Green Lantern?
Oh, don't do that to me. Logan, it's going to be the greatest movie ever. I've seen 40 minutes. Trust me, it's going to be amazing. Like that's what terrifies me.
Oh, is
Cowboys and Aliens.
Oh, because you were so bullish on
we
it.
saw 30, like literally, they showed us Cowboys and Aliens, and they showed us up to the point where they're like, all right, let's go get her back, and we're riding off, and you're riding off, and you're like, holy shit, this movie's going to be amazing.
Yeah,
And then it wasn't.
and then it was less than
And
amazing.
this is the first 40 minutes to where it's the end of it is Wolverine, Professor X, and X-23 driving off together with the Reavers chasing him, and you're like, holy fuck, this is gonna be the greatest movie ever. Like that's my fear. Everything that I saw up until that point makes me feel like it's gonna be great.
I mean, number one, brilliant fucking idea to make X-23 a little girl and not like super sexy.
Yeah, not the 23.
Yeah.
Make her, not some hot young actress.
Exactly.
But instead make her a little girl.
Because I even watching that trailer, I kept waiting for the moment like after the gas station scene where it was going to be like, because it's like, of course Hollywood can't resist having like X23, super sexy female Wolverine. There's a reason why she was a successful character in the comics. Like, you would think that was the natural way to go in the movie, but then it's like, no, this is gonna be Little Miss Sunshine with Wolverine, Professor X, and X23. That's fucking brill.
Somebody just brought something up. I need to sidebar. Can we get a video, just a clip of me from the Melissa video by any chance? Can we get that up?
Talk to the warden.
No. Just
the reaction.
Just the screenshot. There's a reason for this, and you guys will see why. Can we go just a little? Me leaning back just a little bit, like.
Can we at least set up context, because people won't know what this was about.
Also wearing the exact same T-shirt.
That's all we needed to see. There was part of me leaving the house tonight, like I was like, oh shit, have I worn this on the? And I'm like, no.
No, I
haven't.
I found myself guilty of the same thing. Like there was a time I spent hundreds of dollars every month buying so many shirts so that I would have a different shirt, and I was thinking about continuity for Scam School episodes. Like, well, I started in this, and I want to make it look like I just walked in, but then I changed halfway, so let me do whatever for the stand-up.
Can we go back to that shot real quick? Do I look like every guy who ever sold you something at Guitar Center ever?
I mean,
Yes.
you still do.
Yes.
It's
And that squeaky chair. Do we remember the squeaky chair? Every time my chair squeaks, I think
that
of you
hair,
guys.
that haircut at that time. There was a buddy of mine that when you were in high school, there's always the one kid that like either drops out or has shitty parents or something, but like has an apartment. There's just like some place where high school kids gather where like some kid has dominion, right? And for my circle of friends, it was a friend named Chris, and the joke was that he would take his one shower in the morning, and you would know with his long, like blonde hair what time of day it was, as sure as the
By
sun.
how it dries.
By how it dried,
Dude.
That you could.
True.
That is, I used to have kind of like the butt cut mushroom thing going on, and I couldn't figure out how to get my hair straight because I didn't understand there was a thing called a blow dryer that would actually cause it to be straight. So what I used to do is I used to take gel, run a comb through it, and just start off the day looking like a mafioso, and then slowly it would dry and crack, and then just, crazy Doc Brown,
Yeah.
and then eventually fall down into this golden waterfall
Yeah.
of pure straight hair.
Hey, dude, we got an awesome deal on Tab Books. It's funny you mentioned that. I actually lived in the house in an apartment with that teenager.
I
lived when I was butt-ass broke. I
Yeah.
had just been kicked out of a place. I was literally, I swear to God, I was living in a house as a renter with a guy for 2 months who was an ex-Navy SEAL who had washed out of the Navy SEALs and was now running a tactical knife and equipment shop out of his house, and who ran this, like, just completely fascist house, like in the weirdest way. Like, I couldn't
Complain like we had to wear the shirts and do the salutes.
like my girlfriend, now my wife at the time, could not call before 7 p.m. because he used the phone line for business.
Oh, wow.
Like, she could not call to say, hey, I'm on my way over. Or
Oh, and this is in a pre-cell phone era.
This is
as
in
well,
a pre-cell,
yeah.
but this is 99.
Oh, you
Like,
were, and by the way, you were one of the last people I ever knew on the planet to get a cell phone.
I got my first cell phone when I was 35. I am 41 now. Do the math. That is, I did
not
not have a
very
cell
long
phone
ago.
in the aughts.
The entire odds.
Really?
That's
Yeah,
2011.
no, that's a real thing.
2011.
2011 was
Like-
when yes.
At some point, he became the dude who preferred vinyl to CD, and it became a badge of honor for him. He's like, just give me a call. I'll
4
probably be there.
years. So basically, you got a phone when, like, so that's like Android becomes a thing.
And
No.
iPhone-
My first phone was an iPhone 4S.
Wow.
Gotcha. Okay. That was the one that Steve Jobs got pissed about.
Hey, by
right?
the
'Cause,
way,
like,
I
Gizmodo
spent over a year texting you at the wrong number. Because I asked your wife for
How
for
many
the
numbers
number.
have you had? You've had one for like 30 minutes.
No. Well, I asked Jessica for the number. She gave me 6 of the 7 digits, and I punched it in and typed it in as Cargill, and then gave you compliments and told you how happy I was for your projects, and never understood. Asked you if you wanted to come on it.
Oh, wait. Oh, my God. Blender MF points it out. You got a phone the same year you chose Green Lantern in the draft.
Hey, man.
Think about
Big
that
year,
contextually.
big year.
Even
big
a broken
year.
clock
So
is right
here's,
twice
but
a day.
here's why, and here's what you guys need to understand, like in terms of just headspace to make sense of it. At the time, I was a professional film critic, and so I spent all of my time at home
The
near
last
a
thing you
landline,
wanted.
or when I left the house, I was in a movie theater where I would have to be off anyway.
Well, and let's
if
face
I
it-
was out otherwise, I was either with close friends or I was at dinner with my wife, so I didn't want to be disturbed on the phone at the time. So there was no reason for me to do that. But the first time I went to a movie to see a film and I missed a meeting because I didn't get a last minute call, and a meeting in a Hollywood meeting had to be rescheduled about a movie, I was like, oh shit.
You're like,
And
oh, well,
Scott's
that's over.
And that's literally where I got the figure wag from Scott Derrickson, where he's like, get a fucking phone, asshole. I'm tired of this shit.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right. I went out that night and I bought my first cell phone, and that was it. So I was then a cell phone dude from that point on. And occasionally friends, when I'm out with them, I check my phone and they're like, man, for the days when you didn't have a fucking cell phone.
Yeah. But I guess also like being a film critic, I would imagine sometimes you had unpopular opinions, and I would imagine there was some value to not being able to be easily reached.
Well, I mean, nobody actually really goes after film critics about that stuff except in comments.
Well, I guess so. But you also lived in the most
Wait,
active
hold on,
comic
wait,
section
wait.
comment
Yeah,
section of the world.
Like, and listen, and we can get into the talk back section because, like,
Oh, yes.
like, listen, if hell is in comments, the front door was the AICN.
There
talk
was
back.
no 4chan
Like,
yet.
yeah.
They were all in talkback
It-
on AICN.
Like, listen,
the number,
I
like,
mean, your nickname, your Twitter handle is practically a 4chan meme.
it's like, I got so much, like, in the AICN days, dear God, what I went through. Like, I see, it's a weird thing. I'll see women online, and they are very justified. And do not think I'm making light of this, where they're like, when I go on and speak out against a movie, I am threatened with rape. And I'm like, been there, got that almost every other day.
Wow.
Like, it's because that was how bad it was. Where
no, I was like, and
it was bad.
Our first interaction online on this show or whatever version of this show was me telling you how much I actually enjoyed your writing as a reader of AICN, because AICN for me was the way I got into the internet.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that was the first thing that I really liked. It was the site that I went to every day. I will say this: the worst elements now were what I was reading.
Well, because
then.
you were
They
the
were-
demographic, right?
They were
you
some awful
like-
fucking human beings.
No, it's just,
They
and
were
by the way,
despicable people.
it ain't, it hasn't gotten better. Like, it's not like there's been some, it is still barter town.
Well, and the thing is it is
It's not, but it's not what it used to be. Like, literally, when I say that, I am not making light of it. I was threatened with rape countless times by people who disagreed with my opinion.
Sure.
Well, and that was also part of I assume the success of AICN is that it was a place for the powerless to feel powerful, and then it's
yeah,
heard.
because the powerful were reading it.
Yes, exactly.
Well,
and
but
they
you
all knew it. They all knew
When you talked
it.
the shit about Michael Bay, you knew he was reading it. That was the thing. Okay, all right, name dropping story, but it's got to fucking happen right now.
Yep.
Go.
One night, I was on 6th Street, drunk with Shia LaBeouf.
All right.
All right, so
Go.
we're opening up with that.
I mean,
We're here.
I mean,
We're here.
first of all,
We're here.
anyone else here?
Paint a picture. Paint a picture. What era Shia? What era Shia are we at?
Is it the
He has not turned 21 yet, and
Okay.
he has a fake ID that was made for him by someone on the prop master from Disturbia.
So like Disturbia.
Oh, telling tales
Gotcha.
out of school.
Okay.
All right.
You know what? At this point, nobody's getting in trouble for Shia LaBeouf drinking except Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah.
There we go.
I was about to say, is this?
Go to his live stream right now and tell him that Cargill's talking shit.
Yeah.
So we're on 6th Street and we're drinking, and he has a studio guy in tow who's trying to keep him out of trouble. He's like, look, because it was like we were at the premiere, we're at the after party, and me and him start talking.
So this is for Disturbia.
This is for Disturbia.
Yeah.
We start talking Warhammer. We start talking comic books. And he's like, dude, let's go hit another bar. This bar is bringing me down. Let's go drink. And so a studio guy tags along to make sure we don't get in trouble. So we go out and do the crawl on 6th Street. And
So studio guy is there to make sure Shia is happy, but also make sure Shia doesn't get into fucking the papers.
so that make sure Shia doesn't say anything that can be put on Ain't It Cool News as a news story. Because at this
gotcha.
point, they have
Name
not...
one time someone's regretted speaking about the movie they were working on.
And by the way, for people who do not understand, and this is, I think, part of the thing that informs how raw the talkbacks was. Ain't It Cool News was important not only in film criticism but also on the internet because it was the first time that like the people were doing it. Like
Yeah.
it wasn't like
And
a
they were
big media entity. It was random people. And it was why Austin was famous to me,
Oh
is because
my
like
God.
this shit was happening in Austin.
Dude, and here's
that meant something.
And this era,
By the way, like on the upswing of all this, 1997, 1998, when I was working the Electric Lounge, I remember, I would do my 15 minutes and then pass the hat, and I was walk around and like, hey, if you enjoyed it, throw money. And I remember recognizing Harry Knowles and feeling that adrenaline rush of, oh, that's the guy I saw the news thing on that writes the thing that the people reads.
And a lot of it was screening reviews. Like that kind of stuff that like was normally nobody would report on it. No, especially no one in the legit press would. Ain't It Cool News would. Ain't It Cool News will report fucking rumors. Like this was this like revolution in information on something as silly as movies, but it meant something.
And the thing is what was so amazing about being there at the time, like literally of all the exciting things I've done in my life, being there in the first 3 years of when I was of Ain't It Cool News is
In the Wild West, man.
It was the wild, like Hollywood had no idea how to deal with Ain't It Cool.
Yeah.
It was like being, the only thing you can liken it to is like being at Rolling Stone in the late 60s.
Yes.
Like everyone wanted to be on the front page of Ain't It Cool News. Everybody wanted to be in the cool club. And it was literally a bunch of us working out of our fucking bedrooms on fucking cheap ass PCs.
But on the internet, nobody knows you're a dog.
Nobody knows you're a dog.
Yeah.
And so everybody thought we had a headquarters, geek headquarters as it was called. And everybody thought we went and had cubicles and worked together and had the meeting in the morning like you see on fucking, what's that?
TMZ. Yeah.
Where Harry would come in and be like,
With
all
his
right, what
oversized
stories
mug."
you have today? A mass of worm? Like, hey, Clint, what did you find out from Jon Favreau this weekend? Like we were literally a bunch of guys living in like, our hovels. Like
on email, right?
half of the people, as would be thought of, were living in their parents' house. The other half were, nobody's like me, like living with our wife in our little apartments.
Yep.
And
what
we said
but also
scared the shit out of Hollywood.
Well, it was also, I assume, very internet in that the currency was effort. Like if you cared enough to drop a reference to, the Hand of Fate or whatever, then clearly you were at a higher status.
Oh, certainly
of the
so.
other person.
Can we please get back to your night with Shia?
Oh yeah. So no, this was all essential preamble though.
Yeah.
Because the thing is what would happen is as Shia got drunker and drunker, as we got closer and closer back to where he was staying at the Four Seasons,
He put a hand on me.
no, we ended up in front of the Four Seasons having a shouting match. Neither of us angry at each other.
Yeah.
But yelling about talkbackers.
Oh.
Like, he's like, those motherfuckers, those motherfuckers, they don't fucking know. They don't fucking know.
Yeah.
Like, and he was, and the number of drunken, no.
No.
I got out of
I
Shia LaBeouf.
have been worse than you.
It was amazing. And he was literally, he read them every day. And
Yep.
every time his name came up, his asshole would clench tight and he would be terrified of what these people would say about him.
Yeah.
And he was not the first person I ever heard of doing that. But it was one of those things where he just regaled me just drunkenly. He went off for like 20 minutes about how these people don't understand and that these people never listen. And he went and in particular, what he did in this conversation, he was like, look, when they come to you and they say, do you want to be in a Keanu Reeves movie? And you're 18 years old, you're like, yes, I want to be in a Keanu Reeves movie. And you're like, it's based on a comic book. And you're like, okay, that sounds great. And you don't realize that your character was 30 years old in the comic. And then you read the comic and he literally does this. He goes, and you read the comic, you go, no.
You got a real life.
I got several,
No.
but that was the best. And he's like, and then you do it because you can't say no at that point because you've already said yes. And then the talkbackers on Ain't It Cool News, and they don't stop and they never let it go. Dude. And it was, and we were commiserating, but we were yelling at the top of our lungs
for them.
at 2:30
For
in the
them,
morning.
it's done.
Well,
Like that's it.
For them,
Like, from
for
that
them,
news.
They're
From
like,
the casting.
for them, they have a personal stake, and it's the fact that they invested 2 whole hours of their time to watch this shit show.
And $7.
Yeah, exactly, right? That's I've referenced it before, and I won't read it again, but the 6 Harsh Truths by David Wong, is all these 6 harsh truths that'll make you a better person, talk about the whole world only wants what it can get out of you,
David
and so on.
Wong, one of the greatest speaking truth to reality
Oh my
writers
God.
of today.
Yeah, did you read his new book, The Futuristic Violence in Fancy Suits?
Not yet.
It's a lot of fun. I liked it a lot. But he ends with this, oh yeah, I forgot to mention.
Wait, hold on. People are saying $7 movie where, motherfucker, we're talking about
motherfuckers.
10 years
You
ago.
oh, you motherfuckers.
10 years ago. Like this story.
Dude, I remember-
Shia LaBeouf isn't even legal to drink. Shia LaBeouf has been a professional drunk for a decade.
Dude.
For fuck's sake, this is how old this story is.
I worked a movie theater when it was
Dude
$3.
was fucking 3 years off even Stevens.
So
That is, wow. Wow, Disney kid.
But at any rate, the last section of the book says, "Oh yeah, by the way, all of your friends are going to turn against you for trying to do something." And these are the words that haunt me. He said, "Your drunk friends do not want you to get sober. Your fat friends do not want you to see you on a diet. You will make them uncomfortable, and they will turn against you." And he says, look at the cracked comments. When they get nasty, they get really nasty, and they all amount to the same thing. They say, "Stop creating. The thing you made is different than the thing I would have made, and the attention you're getting is making me uncomfortable." And it's like every time I read every comment, like that's all I read is "Stop creating. The thing you're making is different than what I would have made."
But
So not
I-
every
I-
comment, but a lot.
Well, I mean,
When they're nasty,
I
yeah.
will say what made the AICN Talkback special was that it was a hot space at the time, but for the first time on the internet, on a homemade blog, basically, like something that like was very small, there was heat. It was the first time that I remember seeing. What differentiated AICN to me was that those talkbacks were hundreds, if not thousands. Right.
Well, it was flash mobs, right?
Like it was just, but it was a lot. And like for that time with that amount of people on the internet, that fucking meant something. It was like everyone who gave a shit about movies was here.
And about 5% of those were actually well-known people in Hollywood writing under different names.
Everybody's got those
like,
stories.
yeah, the thing is-
Everybody's got those
Oh,
stories.
no,
Those were-
I got him in Magic from the iTricks blog.
Dude, yeah, well, shut up, Harrison Bergeron, Harry Bevo 6.
Ooh, wow. We're going
do,
deep.
do you remember, like,
Wow.
in the first year of BB Live show, I came to you and I was like, man, somebody's got like a Mike Tyson punch-out avatar and throwing
Oh,
sass
because I
or
was
whatever.
talking shit. Yeah.
Yeah, and you're like, oh, yeah, I forgot to tell you, that's me and I'm trolling ourselves.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't. That was us, though.
Hey, well, I know, but I'm just saying, like, I believe you when you say that you've plumbed those depths.
Oh, totally. Well, no. Yeah, 'cause we've talked about it.
Somebody's like looking at you, Harvey Weinstein.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, wow.
Has anyone done the oral history of Anna Cool News?
No. I actually was talking to a friend about
Oh
that
fuck!
a month
There's going to
ago.
be a movie, aren't there? Like, there's no universe in which they don't
There's,
eventually
like,
make
literally,
a movie.
there's a friend of mine who was a writer with us way back in the day. Was not one of the big names in any
Yeah.
way, shape, or form, but did some shit in his own right. Like he was one of the coax guys who freaked out fucking James Cameron over Dark Angel.
Really?
Like so much so that he refused to allow Dark Angel to go to networks early. It had to stream live the finale because of the AICN reviews. He was literally this guy.
This is before live blogging too.
Yeah, he was
the closest
literally
you
this
think.
guy working at overnights at a fucking Iowa local TV station who was watching the feed as it came in over the satellite and would write up reviews. And he was there in the day and he knew everyone. Like he knew all of us and was great friends with all of us. Like the first time I heard of Patton Oswalt was he was like, "Oh yeah, I was hanging out with Patton out in LA." And I'm like, "Who's Patton?" Patton Oswalt. He's Neil Cumston. He's on this TV show, King of Queens. Like,
Yeah.
that was the first time I'd ever heard of Patton Oswalt. Was from this guy. And I'm like, this year we were hanging out because he comes and crashes at my house every BNet. And we were drinking out on my porch, smoking cigars, and I was just like, dude, why? We were telling old stories, as we always do. When you get older, that's what you do. You relive,
Indeed.
your
Yeah,
20s with people who were there. And I'm like, dude, that's a book. Like enough people have come out of that and done interesting things that there's a book in that era.
At least a magazine article that you could sell into a book, like at the very least.
I mean, well, because the thing is he was there with everyone, and he knows he can call up Patton and go, "Hey, Patton, it's Derek." And hey, Derek, what's up? Hey, I'm working on a book about the Ain't It Cool days. Would you sit down and give me an hour and a half talking about what Ain't It Cool was to you?
I mean, also not for nothing. The legend has had a few years to grow a long shadow, and all of a sudden, everybody was there that night for the Great Face-Off, and everybody was there for.
This guy was actually there.
I believe it, but I'm also saying that that to me is just as important a reason why it should become a movie or a book or an article or whatever.
There was never enough drama at Ain't It Cool to become a movie. Like I would, no, you're looking at me like I remember the shit that happened with you, and like I'm like. Dude, motherfucker, I do this for a living. There's no movie in what happened to me.
Okay,
like, none.
Smash cut, record scratch. You're like,
yep,
he's
that's
like, oh,
me.
I'm so upset. What am I gonna do?
There's high drama in the moment of your life, but there's high drama in stuff that doesn't make it worthy of a movie. There's a good book in it, though.
Have you read the CAA or the ESPN oral history? Or the SNL oral history. It was the same authors. I can't remember their names right now.
I've read the SNL one.
Yeah, but it like that is I think that there's that book about Ain't It Cool news.
Yes.
Like even just in their words.
That's what I pitched.
Telling that story.
That's what I picked because literally the people that have come out of Ain't It Cool News, there's a number of really talented folks. You know, the most famous of which is Patton Oswalt, who was not.
Well, no, but also because
Kevin S. Beagle and
because I've heard even in my sorry, of course anybody who works in fucking like movies or TV fucking talks about some shit. Like there was this like a story that was told to me that like there were studio people that felt like that they were scared as shit about Ain't It Cool News. And then all of a sudden they started like the idea of let's bring the internet kids to junkets was their salve to it.
Yeah.
Was like, hey, we can just shut them up if we bring them in and the stars
the first time the first time I went on one of those.
I'm sorry to inject, but I just realized that there was one story that I desperately wanted to hear that Justin was unfamiliar with that I wanted to get the Kevin Smith story. Because Justin doesn't even know about it, and could be pretty amazing to deconstruct.
All right, let me follow up your comment, and I will follow up your comment.
Yeah.
The first time I went out on one of those junkets when they were like, "Well, let's just invite the internet kids out," was one of the most surreal experiences in my life. Like literally, they put us up. I'm a 25-year-old kid. I'm literally working at Hollywood Video, 3 blocks from my house, living in a house owned by the people who are now my in-laws, with my girlfriend. We live in separate rooms. She lives upstairs. I live downstairs.
Yeah.
I'm working at a video store. I get flown out for the weekend. Nobody at the store believes I can't come to work this weekend. They think
What
I'm
movie?
making
What
shit.
movie?
It's not. It's literally for a DVD release of something that we had been shown early. Just this DVD compilation called Boogeymen, which is a compilation of all these clips from famous slasher movies from the 80s.
Yeah.
But while we're out there, they put us up in the Mondrian Hotel. We are taken out to this lavish party DVD release, and at the DVD release they're like, too bad you're not around for Tuesday. And we're like, what's Tuesday? And they're like, oh, we're doing a big DVD release for the Scorpion King, and we're gonna have The Rock there. And I'm like, I can call and get a few days off from work.
Yeah.
Like and in your mind you're thinking, worth getting fired over? I think so.
Yeah.
Well, no, because I was working at a video store. When you call in and say I need a couple days off because I got something going on.
Yeah.
You know,
Like,
they're
you can do that for the flu,
reschedule.
for diarrhea.
Yeah.
Like
It's a fucking
to
video
meet
store.
The Rock. Yeah.
Everybody wants hours. Like it's like, nobody gave a shit. So you'd come back and be like, oh, you're not gonna believe I was out with The Rock, and they're like, the wrestler? Like you met the wrestler on Santa Monica Beach talking about the score. It was no, that's what it was. The Mummy 2 is what it was because
Where
he
the
shows up.
Scorpion King shows
Yes,
up
it was.
initially.
That's what that was for. Is the DVD
Yeah.
release of the Scorpion King, or not the Scorpion? I keep
The
saying
Mummy
that.
2,
Mummy
where
2.
he played the
Scorpion
King.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this
Which is
how old
also
these stories
Bryce.
are.
Which is also Bryce's new nickname, the
Yes.
Scorpion.
Scorpion King.
I'm fucking so pissed off I didn't come up with that
so
earlier.
so like it just becomes a surreal thing where I literally the vice president of Universal comes up to shake my hand and say, we're all big fans. Is there anything we can do for you? And my buddy who I'm there with from Ain't It Cool goes, well, I hear that Kane Hodder and Robert Englund are here, and could we get 10 minutes alone with them? And he goes, done. They cleared out the press room.
Wow.
And they usher us in to hang out with Robert Englund and Kane Hodder. And Kane Hodder looks at us. He goes, you guys are the guys from Ain't It Cool, right? And we go, yeah. He goes, yeah, we were told we're here to kiss your ass. And my buddy is like, well, we're here to kiss your ass. And Robert Englund goes, good, let's all kiss each other's ass. And we all sat around and talked about horror movies for 20 minutes. And I'm 25 years old. And I'm like, what the hell am I doing in this room?
But that was so from the story that I heard, it was like that was the studios are terrified. All of a sudden the pirates are raiding the fucking stock room. They can't keep control. They can't keep buzz. And the big shift, and also
worse than that, here's an inside baseball thing.
Yeah.
We had people reporting stuff from movies that they were like, how the fuck are they getting this?
Yeah.
And we were getting stuff from Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
And we were getting stuff from Lord of the Rings from the janitor. And the janitor was talking about things going on the set of Lord of the Rings. The janitor was a gentleman named Pete, I believe. Pete Jackson was his name.
Wow.
Was writing in stuff to his buddy Harry and saying, we need to put this under the janitor. And then he'd go in and he'd yell at everybody and say,
Like,
these leaks are getting out. How are they? You guys need to be. And he would like give the speech for the studio.
Yeah.
And then whenever the studio was giving him grief, he would give the information on what the studio wanted to Ain't It Cool News. And that would grease the wheels for him getting the Lord of the Rings. Like there is a portion of Lord of the Rings that exists because you guys got angry at stuff Peter Jackson said to Harry Knowles as the janitor. So that is like the weird. This is how weird a time Ain't It Cool was. But here we go. We are here. Let's put it up on stream.
All right, so
this is the end of the story.
Well, exactly, and then they found the beginning, and it's over in the Diamond Club chat. But
Okay, all right. 2 seconds. We will get it and do all of this. I have to take a piss. All I'm gonna say is that like all I want to do right now is literally take 6 months off of everything I'm doing to fucking do the Ain't It Cool News. Like
to write the movie,
the oral history.
Write the book.
Because I think that's fucking great.
Yeah. So Brian, ask me what you want to ask that doesn't have to do with Kevin Smith while he pisses.
Hey man, do you love me as much as I love you?
I really do. Like seriously, it makes my heart hurt when you don't invite me on the show.
Okay, I'll be better.
And you invite me once a year, and it's like he likes me as a once a year guest. He doesn't like me as a 2 or 3 times a year guest.
And you know what it is it's a victim of your own success because there are people who I have been very, very close to who have gone on to become so successful that I keep calling, and because they're genuinely busy at certain times, they're not able to call back. And you can't help but think like, well, we'll still be friends. We'll just be the kind of friends, but they're real busy all the time.
I will never, ever say no to you if I have the night.
All right.
open.
Well, all right.
Like
Done.
seriously,
Done and
like
done.
it's like first of all, I love you.
Yep.
You have introduced me to Jury, and I
Yep.
love Jury.
Yep.
And you have introduced me to your fans, who, by the way, are as awesome as Spill fans are, which is what I appreciate about them.
Also, Brightchan points out in the chat, legitimately, I had the wrong number for a full year. I had 6 of the 7 digits.
Yes. Somebody's saying, note, Cargill, wear something different next time. Okay, you know what? We're in the after show. So
Fuck you. No. I'm saying.
No, I'm going to tell you why I'm wearing this shirt. I don't wear this shirt very often at all.
Yeah.
But the truth is, because of the stress of the movie and all the craziness that happened around it, I put on an extra 25 pounds, and all the shirts that I threw out, most of my large shirts.
Hey man, legit story. Like I'm 10. We were talking about this on the way over. Like, when it comes to happiness, I figure you only have 3 life bars. Whenever you write goals, they're either a money goal, a relationship goal, and a health goal, right?
Yeah.
So you have 3 health bars, and happiness and fulfillment is determined by how full those are. with all the stress of the past year and all the scam stuff, doing well during the holiday season. Like it was and mainly as a result of those, Bonnie saying, "Hi, remember when I gave you that year and then supported you all those other years? I finally can put the title in preschool, and I can finally get back to work on my art career that I've pressed paused on for 13 years. So it's time." And so I think like
you've had enough kids, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
Like seriously, it's done putting buttons in those ovens.
Well, and so
that oven.
And so for the health of our relationship, for the health of me being a good father who's there for the kids, like I have intentionally relaxed on the health goal so that the relationship goal could do better. But at any rate,
I can't believe I killed this whole 6-pack.
But yeah, and so I find myself wearing
God damn it.
shirts that look like Tomcat from the internet.
There it is. There it is.
We're at the.
I don't know why nobody shook that up. Just drop it in the. So yeah, no, but that's like literally this shirt is the byproduct of if I wore anything else. Like the Hulk shirt, like I remember when I wore the Hulkster shirt, which I will now acknowledge existed, was when I had just put on a couple pounds and I was like, oh, this is a little tight, but you know what? I'm gonna have fun with it and do the nipple rub. Here you go for the fans of the show.
Yeah.
Previously, here's the nipple rub. So it was one of those things where I was like, oh, shit, if I wear any of this, I'm going to be like, oh, look at me, bloaty boy. I'm wearing
I'll tell you what, though.
I'm wearing notice how I'm wearing the cardigan to distract?
Yeah, no, I look at me, man. I've drawn a picture of a 25-year-old torso on my chest.
There it is.
Here's the point, though. There's no point.
It's 300.
There's no point to being fat and happy if you're not happy, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like at least be the happy part if you got to be the other part.
I just want everyone to know I went to go get Neshcom a glass for some of this scotch, and I got something that I would imagine my grandma would drink vermouth out of.
You know what it looks like? It looks like something you'd feed a cat out of in an 80s commercial. Fancy Feast.
Thank you, Jerry.
Feast. Oh, dude, this seriously, the scotch I brought is like if it survives the night, it will be a crime. Like
So-
this
Oh,
scotch-
no. We are not here where it ends here.
Hoo boy. So,
It's an epic night. Strap in, Diamond Club.
all right. So shortly after introducing
Kevin Smith, here we go.
Yeah. I start following Kevin Smith, and this is before the mute button was a thing.
Oh, hold on. Someone just asked, what is it called? We are drinking Benrinus. It is Benrinus. I think that's how it's pronounced. We'd have to go to Brian Cox on the internet it's BENRINNES. It is 1988.
Do we have permission to show
Oh,
this?
wow.
damn it.
Wow.
God damn it!
God bless you guys. I love you guys. This is
Cargill,
why I love 'em.
Motherfuckers!
This is why I'm so bitter that I come on the show once a year. Because you guys get me. Like that would be a profile pic. if I
Are
Are
had
you okay
that.
showing this? Are we okay
we're
showing?
okay showing it.
Look, first of all, nobody's going to be upset with me wearing a joke shirt like that. Like, seriously. But that is fucking amazing. Like, dear God, that is beautifully effective in so many ways. God bless you. God bless you. Oh, somebody asked what year this is.
1988.
It was 1988 that this was was first put into production. It is an
Rumpemania.
18-year scotch that was bottled 9 years ago.
You motherfuckers!
Harambe Mania. Harambe Mania.
Harambe Mania, never forget. Never forget.
Oh, no, that's an empty glass.
All right, well, let's fix it.
Oh.
All right, so in the early days of Twitter, Kevin Smith would get stoned and just go on these tweet storms. He sort of started the fad.
So he made a movie called Zack and Miri, and on Zack and Miri,
Zack and Miri make a porno.
make a porno. In which,
Let's also predate that. He made a movie called Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, wherein he invented a movie called, or a site within the film
MoviePoopShoot.com.
called MoviePoopShoot.com,
which was Ain't It Cool News.
Ain't It Cool News,
Yep.
and it ends with Jay and Silent Bob to go to your idea that stars read the talkbacks in this movie, a film that was released to theaters, had wide release. The main characters punch internet commenters in the face because of how pissed off Kevin Smith was at Ain't It Cool News talkback.
Yes.
So
yes.
go ahead.
So what ends up happening is he makes a movie called Zack and Mary Make a Porno with Seth Rogen. And Seth Rogen
Was electric gold at the time. He was pure money minting buffoonery.
And at the time, Kevin Smith, of course, had smoked out a couple of times, but it was not a habit for him.
It was new, and he hadn't. He was prone to get ahead of schedule.
And he was introduced to the wake and bake, where you wake up and hit the pipe, and you don't stop hitting the pipe until before you go to bed.
Yeah.
And he realized,
Also introduced to Twitter around the same time.
Yeah.
he was like, holy shit, this is amazing. I love being high all the time. And thus began High Kevin Smith. Like up until then, we had nerd Kevin Smith.
Yeah.
And then
Angsty Kevin Smith.
Angsty Kevin Smith. And then we got High Kevin Smith. And High Kevin Smith made a movie called Cop Out.
Yes.
Well, and it was also around the time he turned 40. Which, by the way, Kevin Smith is sort of a role model because every time I see him, like regardless of what you think of the quality of those movies, every time I hear him, he's happier and gives fewer fucks.
Well, keep in mind, let me give you a little context for this story. It is 1994. I am going to community college. By the way, I'm a community college dropout. If any of you want to be a writer, college, no one ever asks you for your transcripts. Your writing ability is everything. Nobody cares where you graduated from. Nobody cares if you have an MFA. Nobody gives a shit if you can deliver. So learn how to deliver. That is the only advice I can ever give you for those that want to be a writer. Nobody will ever ask, well, we like the sample, but do you have a degree? No one has ever asked to see my college transcripts. Nobody gives a shit.
Every single person on our team, I have no idea how much school they got. I have no idea how they make the thing.
Funny story. It was how many months was it after I started working for you that I was here one night working on Cord Killers, and you and Bonnie were in the room, and Bonnie was the one who asked, "So, what's your deal?"
Like all we knew is that you were the awesome
did you go
guy.
to school?
Wait, hold on. Wait. Number one, can you put yourself on screen and also
Yes, we need
Scotch?
this.
I need the fancy feast Scotch in your hand.
How good is that Scotch, by the way?
I'm not a Scotch. I don't have a taste for Scotch, but it's fine. It's good. It's
Yeah.
good. I don't.
Oh,
I'm a,
wow, did you waste that
Just don't.
Scotch?
Just-
Nope.
It's fine.
Look, he'll never have it.
He's
as-
got to.
as good
The
again.
boy's got to learn. Something.
hey, I'm gonna drink this entire glass,
Whew.
and I'm gonna thank you for it.
But
All
I
right, he's
coulda-
gonna
I coulda
spend
get-
the
I-
rest
Come on,
of his life
fancy feast.
chasing
Come
that
on,
high.
come on,
All right,
fancy feast.
Yeah, so
No, that's the end of the story. She was like, "Hey, did you go to school or anything?"
Wait,
well, yeah,
but
because
where did you go to school?
I went to VCU in their kinetic imaging department, which is digital art.
Drink
so
your
did,
Scotch.
did you get a
Drink your
degree? Wait,
Scotch.
did you
God
get a
damn it.
degree?
I did. I got a BFA.
You have more education than the writer of Doctor Strange.
Damn.
Damn, girl.
Damn.
Because you know what? I
shit,
went to the
shit.
school of hard knocks, bitches.
Well, and this goes back to that David Wong article. The world only cares about you to the you are the fruit, not the tree, right?
that is yes. But I'm
Kevin Smith.
I'm going to college in 1994.
And I realize how
And
much
my-
farther back this story goes. No,
Yeah, it goes way back.
we settle in.
this
If you're
story
thinking
is-
about
this
cracking
story
open the
is
next
deep.
16 ounce, now's the time.
Grab the pause real quick and grab a 16 ounce. So I'm in school, 1994, and I'm taking introductory to film. And my film teacher, who was a second AD on a Katharine Hepburn pick, and I know this because he passed around a laminated copy of the letter that Katharine Hepburn wrote him in 1960 something. He's like, hey, by the way, there's a movie playing in theaters right now. It's not getting any attention. It's only at the Art House. You can see it here at Central Park Mall. It is a film called Clerks. It is made for no money. It's in black and white, so know that going in. But it is going to melt your brain because you've never seen a movie like this. It is a movie that is very real about your life, and you just don't know yet. And so I'm like, fuck it. I've got nothing to do. I'm a fucking early 20-something. I'm 20 years old, 21 years old. I gotta be. No, actually, I'm 19 years old because it's 94. And I just say, fuck it. I'm gonna go to Central Park Mall. I go on a Saturday afternoon and I watch this movie, Clerks.
And I assume it had a profound impact upon you.
Well, it's
or
like,
it sucked
Yeah.
and you never thought
No.
about
Yeah,
it
it's
again.
fairly forgettable. I, in fact, don't even remember that night or the movie.
Keep in mind that it's this and it's fucking Pulp Fiction that is hitting us college kids who are interested in film at the time. So Clerks and Pulp Fiction hit in the same semester. Like that is literally what we're dealing with, and it was nuts, and it was brain melting, and so I became a huge fan of him for quite some time. So of course, I had seen all of his films up to that point.
Mallrats, Chasing Amy,
all of
Jay
them.
and Silent Bob.
Loved them.
Wherein you gotta figure there's like a little bit of like worlds folding in as like he's making art about the criticism that you are making
And
about his art.
I saw it at South by Southwest where he is premiering it
In
the
Austin.
theater
Yeah.
with an entire row of Ain't It Cool News hanging out there getting the joke.
Yeah.
And he had not created moviepoopshoot.com yet, which would be a competitor to Ain't It Cool News that would then fold.
like in 5 seconds.
Okay, all right. But,
So-
but the point is,
Point is, this is all important.
okay, all right.
Because what happens is I have taken your advice as those who are watching earlier in the episode.
Yeah.
And I am working at 4 different sites at once. And that's how I'm making $40,000 a year. Like I'm making a middle class income as a film critic. Like this is respectable. Like if I called up my parents and said, I'm making 40 grand a year as a film critic, they'd be like, holy shit.
That's grown-up money. Look at you. You're a grown-up.
And that's how I feel.
Yeah.
I am a fucking grown-up. I am watching movies for a living, writing about it. People are reading it, and I'm making 40 grand a year. This is great. So my editor at film.com writes me and says, hey, the DVD for Cop Out is coming out. And I wanted someone who loves Kevin Smith, the biggest fan at the site, to write about the fallout after Kevin Smith's war with critics after Cop Out.
Oh, yeah. Well, and because I was listening to Smodcast heavily at this time, and the impression I got, and of course it's fogged by memory, and of course now I'm on the other side of 40, but it seemed like, he wanted to try taking a gig just for a gig's sake, and, he knew it wasn't high art, but he wanted to do a gig, and he
And listen, Tracy Morgan at that time was very, very hot. Bruce Willis, still a hero,
Yep. Well, and I would imagine, and it sounds in the half-decade fallout since then, that he has expressed like a number of disappointments happened during that time, and he was expected to say things, and it was complicated, and it was received poorly, and that was a challenging time, as is anyone turning 40.
We're about to put stuff up on the screen that there's a certain joy in what is going on with it.
So what do you write to Cop Out?
So what I write is I was asked to write about the fallout. And so I wrote about the fallout of Kevin Smith and Cop Out. But what I talk about is the grander story. The fact that this was the year that Kevin Smith got on Twitter.
Right.
This was the year that Kevin Smith started blogging.
Yep.
And Kevin Smith had famously written the story about getting kicked off a flight for being too fat.
Yep.
And
It just happened.
He had written the story about breaking a toilet seat because he was too fat.
Yep.
And
His unabashed honesty had found a new medium that was resonating with people.
And the problem is he was getting on so often and seeing the power of social media in a time that nobody really understood the power of social media, that he was actually fucking with his own legacy. And so my article was about the fact that Kevin Smith made movies that were told in his voice.
Yeah.
And we would pay, as somebody mentioned earlier, $7. We would pay $7. We'd pay our matinee tickets. We'd go in. We would see a Kevin Smith movie, and we would hear Kevin's voice for 2 hours.
But if I could possibly jump ahead, I suspect where you're headed is that as a film critic, you enjoyed hearing his voice through film, and now he had discovered he could just directly talk into the mic, and that was affecting the quality of his films.
But he was talking too much into the mic, that he was distilling his own voice. And then at the same time,
wait, distilling or diffusing?
Both.
Right. Okay.
Both. Like he was literally just he was watering down,
Diluting.
He was
His movies were getting
That's the word,
shittier.
diluting.
His movies
No, this movie was shitty.
Yes.
But his voice, he wasn't shitty. The movie was shitty, and then he attacked critics. And critics were the people that at that point for 15 years, for almost 20 years, coming up on 20 years, had propped him up.
I mean,
It was
this
eight-
also
you know what? 18 years.
I just have to from the sidelines here. I have to point out this comes after Zach and Miri Make a Porno, which for
Yes.
him and I think the film criticism community was the breaking point where everybody assumed, oh shit, Judd Apatow is just like the sharpened edge of what Kevin Smith created.
Yes.
So now Kevin Smith with the Judd Apatow fucking like people,
But-
this should be fucking the biggest like comedy ever. And then as he
But-
so famously
Well, by the way, if you have hours and hours you want to fill, I highly recommend listening to Smodcast in the run-up to Zach and Miri Make a Porno, in which they end an episode be like, guys, you know what? We're so excited about this. I'm going to record a director's commentary. You go see the movie. You can go see it again and have my commentary in your ear, and you'll be giggling at times that nobody else will do it. It's going to be the best thing ever. 2 months without a Smodcast.
yeah, 2 months. 2 months
and
dark.
then coming back in like with, "Hoo boy," it was amazing.
Well, no, like he said in his stand-up that like he wakes up that Friday morning or whatever, like as he's starting to get the early things, and he hears his wife. He doesn't want to see it, but
the
his
Friday
wife,
projections.
Yeah, his wife sees it, and it's like it's
It's three. I was
yeah,
like
three.
300
It's like
million.
300, yeah, and like, so he,
Like, no.
like as you're explaining, his voice, brilliant.
Yes.
Right. Like and when like he found this new medium, yada yada yada. Let's say Zach and Miri Make a Porno as a fan, a huge gigantic fan of Kevin Smith, was a disappointing film. Like and it was disappointing more so than like it wasn't the movie that you wanted. It was disappointing in that, yeah, I guess he's just never going to evolve into the like the greatest comedic filmmaker of all time, which for people in the 90s, it's like you kind of felt that like, I mean, again,
No,
like,
I would, and here's the argument that I would make, and this is why I was chosen for this particular piece, is that Clerks 2 is the pinnacle achievement of what he was as a director. Because Clerks 2 is the film where he admitted, I'm just this kid from Jersey making movies, and this is just my voice, and it's okay.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, I don't have to be Woody Allen. I just need to be me. And at that point, guys like me were like, fuck yeah, Kevin, you be Kevin. You be fucking Kevin, Kevin.
Yeah.
You be Kevin,
do
and you
Mallrats
stay
4.
Kevin.
Do Mallrats.
I'm in.
Yeah.
So anyway, Massaworm writes an article about Kevin Smith.
In which I talk about the fact that by going after critics and by
What was the opening line? It was something like, "At this moment, Kevin Smith."
see, I
entered
hear the typing.
his-
I hear the typing in the background. I don't know if it's there.
With the
because
introduction
film.com,
of
Yeah,
by the
Cop
way,
Out.
I've thought I had found it, and links were dead.
yes,
oh,
because
wow.
film.com, the
Disappeared.
site I wrote it for,
Pulled
was
it.
bought by, they were bought by MTV. And then MTV was like, no, we're keeping film.com around. And guys like me were like,
But that MTV
that's not
redirect
going to
changed.
happen. And then they, as soon as the deal they made with keeping the people on was done, film.com evaporated, and everyone that worked for them, except for a
Wow.
handful of people, were kicked to the curb, and they kept a few people that they were
if
like,
I remember correctly, you're like, with the release of blank, Kevin Smith has finally ended
wait, hold
his
on, he's
phase
found
as,
it, right? Did you find? Is that
I
what-
found an article from Eric Snyder that references you and an article
Oh, wow.
about Cop Out, but that link is dead.
Oh, God, I love Eric Snyder. By the way, if you're not reading Eric Snyder is one of the wittiest motherfuckers on the internet. His Twitter feed and him as a writer is absolutely fucking fantastic. And he was one of the guys who I grew close with as a critic when I was a critic, and who I still read today. So if you're a guy who loves film and you love film snark, Eric Snyder is like the guy.
Wait.
Here we go.
Oh, did we go to the Wayback Machine?
No, this is Fritz.
Here it
Fritz
is.
found
With
it.
that, I gotta say, every day I hate film theory and film students and critics more and more and more. Where's the fun in movie? And then enter C. Robert Cargill, who says,
With that retweet and the resounding number that followed, Kevin Smith took his final steps down the road towards irrelevance. While he certainly didn't go full Mel Gibson and his career is nowhere near completely over, he put a crack in a relationship that cannot be repaired. Like a man telling his wife of 15 years that he never really loved her, Smith already mocked in the media for his Southwest Airlines debacle, spat in the face of his staunchest defenders, the critics that had long supported him.
How was that received, Cargill?
It was not received. Oh, what, this article?
Yeah.
I love how the next line is, the year was 1994. Like it goes back.
All right, so here we go. This is Kevin
here
Smith's
we go.
response.
Bring up the very first. I get it. Massa Worm felt that I attacked critics, and since he identifies as a critic, the lamest critic, he says in his bio, out came the mighty pen. 2 likes, 1 retweet. This is 2010 for you.
Wow.
Like, if I put a tweet like that out, I would feel embarrassed.
Do we
that's
have
2010.
No, literally. If you retweeted that right now, what do you think it would do?
Yeah.
No. That involves the end of the story, which the end of the story is happy.
Okay.
Okay. Well, and okay. All right. Yeah. Because the question, of course. So what follows was what, dozens of just tweets just shitting on you and
yes, for
responding
half an
to
hour
people?
solid. Like, so on this day, which we were talking about, the 20th of July, 2010, I wake up. Now, this is going to bring it all together. This is going to bring it all together in a way you have no idea it's going to bring it all together. Hold on.
Wait.
This is like, so you have no idea how together this brings this.
No.
All right, Shia.
Real quick, when you wrote those words, how did you think they would be received?
Literally, at the time, film.com was paying me $50 an article for 5 articles a week that I would write on Sunday night.
And you're like, I don't know, he's a god of Olympus. He's never going to read this shit. Whatever.
Yeah, it was like,
I mean,
Kevin Smith isn't going to read it. It's going to be an article that just goes online and nobody's going to give a shit about. It's one of the 5 articles I dump in a week. I had written it a week and a half before it was posted. Completely forgotten that it had gone up.
Yep.
Like, it was literally like, what do you think about this? Blah, blah, blah,
Hey,
blah, blah.
500 words on this. And you're like, is he irrelevant? Yeah, I guess he is.
Oddly
right now.
enough, 500 words was their bare minimum for those pieces that they paid me $50 a piece
You're like,
for.
$50 whole, huh? Boop, boop, beep, boop,
But
boop.
$1,000 a month doing that, and then Ain't It Cool, and then Spill.com, and Hollywood.com came in, and like all of a sudden, now you're making like grown-up money.
all right. So that goes out.
That goes out.
Oh, here are the tweets.
Oh my.
I'm irrelevant. Massworm, that's Cargill, asserts, half a world away. I'm on the verge of selling out Sydney Opera House, second night in a row. I'm irrelevant. Number 1 of the highest rated podcast on the entire internet, and I'm irrelevant. Contracted by Epics to shoot birthday Q&A for TV, and I'm irrelevant. World's first podcasting theater, and I'm irrelevant. 1.67 million Twitter lookers, irrelevant. Starting my 10th term from this month. Irrelevant.
All right, hold on, wait. I get it, Master Worm. I felt that I attacked critics, and since he identifies as a critic, a.k.a. the lamest critic, as he points out in his bio, out came the mighty pen. If it's any consolation, I haven't been talking about to you now. I am Master Worm. You feel real comfortable calling me anyone irrelevant. If you're going to nakedly covet my irrelevant career, you can credibly post.
How can you credibly posit to an audience that you know nothing about the culture's taste? I'm raising money for a charity I created to fight child rapists. Besides writing that I'm irrelevant, what have you done today, Master Worm? So how did that feel to somebody who deeply admired this god of Olympus?
Well, I woke up.
And by the way, no, this goes on for people. Keep scrolling.
Hold on. Before we get there,
That's the article.
Oh, that's
the
right.
article.
Okay.
The article goes longer.
It goes deeper. No. But his tweets go deeper because I will quote one in a second. But I woke up and I do as I normally do. I woke up at like 2:30 in the afternoon. I stagger to my computer. I open it up.
Hey, thanks to the Drunk Kids Gaming fam joining us.
Yeah,
Love you.
DKG, baby.
I open my email account and there's 100 emails in there.
That doesn't happen a lot during this time,
And
during the
I was
aughts.
like, what the fuck? And I was like, oh shit, there are a bunch of Twitter follows.
Oh.
And I click on the first one and it says, Patton Oswalt has followed you on Twitter. And I'm like,
Something
shit.
wonderful has happened.
Oh my God! Patton Oswalt must have retweeted one of my tweets.
Oh
And
no!
now I've got new followers.
Yeah.
And Patton followed me on Twitter.
Oh no!
That's a huge ego plus.
Oh no!
And I literally say, swear to God, nothing can go wrong today.
Oh no!
And that lasts for how long?
Until I opened Twitter to see what was retweeted.
Oh.
And then I see the Kevin Smith stream that you just saw. Now, what is not in that article? Can we scroll down? Is there a moment where they quote the end of that? Because the end of that is glorious. The end of that is what I'm going to have.
No.
Damn it.
Yeah.
The end of that is what I'm going to have put on my tombstone, in which he says, I'm sure that someone out there tolerates you, Massa Worm, or possibly even loves you.
Oh.
I actually remember that.
Really?
It was...
Yeah, that rings a bell.
It was one of the darkest pieces of shade ever thrown onto me in my life.
So okay.
No,
so
that is him. And listen, as a podcast listener to him, and somebody who does podcasts, and you know what that line between what you say, and especially when you understand that you have a certain kind of audience, right? Hashtag Free Scott. There is like you get when you are doing something that you feel is super passionate, but you are couching it in a way so you don't say what you really say. Yeah. That is him at his fucking angriest.
Yes.
Right.
Also,
Yes.
I think he was about 40. A lot of things get complicated, and that's the age you start have fewer shits to give about what people say or think or whatever. Especially
No, but he had a lot of shits to give. He had the most shits to give.
Well, he hadn't figured it out yet. He still thought he had shits to give, but they hadn't quite realized he'd made cop out yet.
Yeah. So this happens, and I read this, and holy shit, how do you deal with this?
Yeah.
And I decided, I tweeted back at him. I said, hey, Kevin, I wish you'd reread this piece. I don't think you took it in the spirit that was intended.
So you contacted him.
I contacted
on Twitter, in public
on Twitter,
right? Yeah.
And I said, I'm a lifelong fan, which is why I was asked to write the story.
Yeah.
So he threw back a little snark, which I don't even remember at this point. And because he had curb blocked me, as he says, he chock-a-blocked me at the end. I wasn't following him at the time, which was so weird that he blocked me.
That was also when he was making a lot of noise, like it was his own atomic kick body slam.
Yeah,
you know,
and
he
it's
was like,
you blocked me, but I wasn't.
Let me tell you something, brother. You want to see somebody who's a little bit sensitive about his career at this point? You just try throwing some shade my way, and you're gonna get the Kerblocka-stan.
Yeah, I got Kerblocka-stan, the chock-a-blocked, as he said.
The chock-a-block. That's right. That's right.
Chock-a-block, which I was not following him, so I was like, that's weird. And I'm just sitting there, and I'm talking to my wife, and I'm like, what the fuck am I gonna do? And
I cannot believe what an earthquake
rings.
this felt like at the time, and it's got 9 retweets.
Yeah.
I can't, like, it felt like a press release to the whole world at the time.
That's what Twitter was like at the time, because retweeting and liking, because it wasn't called liking, it was favoriting.
Yeah.
At the time, it wasn't liking; it was favoriting. So that was a very different thing at the time. Like,
and you're like, well, this isn't my favorite.
I mean, I know,
tweet
and like, I don't want this to be fucking like super hacky, like morning radio. I'm almost just scientifically. Like,
no, do not follow this.
No,
I know where the thought process is going.
Dude,
do not
I swear,
do this.
I swear to God,
do
dude,
not
I'm on his team. This is me not turning the switch.
There's a happy ending to this story, and the happy ending is so good.
Then tell the story.
It's so good. I'm getting there. It's such a good story, though.
Tell the story.
So, my phone rings, and I go and I pick up the phone, and it's Scott Weinberg, who I mentioned earlier tonight.
Yeah.
And Scott Weinberg, who at the time was at Cinematical, and he's just like, hey, Cargill, in fact, I got to do my Scott Weinberg. Hey, Cargill, how you doing? Are you okay?
You realize your Scotty Weinberg is just Cargill doing Cargill.
You do realize that me and Scott Weinberg are the same, except Scott Weinberg is Jewish.
Okay, right on.
Scott Weinberg and Cargill are very similar in very many ways. We both have these deep, raspy voices, and I like Scotch and he likes weed, and that's just the way it is.
Sure.
But otherwise, Scott Weinberg and I are harmoniously connected. I love Scott Weinberg. And so Scott calls up and he's, Cargill, how you doing? And I'm like, I don't know, man. He's like, are you doing okay? I said, yeah, I'm doing okay. He goes, good. Congratulations. And I said, for what? you made it, man. A Hollywood director fucking called you out in public media, like for a piece you wrote. You wrote a piece for film.com. Who reads film.com? Holy shit. Kevin Smith has been ranting about you all day. Everyone in Hollywood is talking about you. Congratulations. You made it.
Well, and there
that
has to be some part of you that instantly goes like, but this doesn't feel good. Do I want to
No,
make it?
It does. But that was the first of 6 calls that day of other editors from other places calling to check if I was okay.
Yeah.
And all saying the same thing. It's like, congratulations. Like, you officially pissed off a Hollywood director and everyone's talking about you. You're relevant. Like, I had spent the first half of the day with one of my heroes telling me I'm irrelevant and everyone else calling me up and going, dude, you're officially relevant because this guy's losing his shit.
But also, and here's the funniest thing about this, is that, like, in Hollywood, everyone needs to call their friend that, like, got attacked by the Hollywood director so they can tell their friends in Hollywood that they called their friend that got attacked by the Hollywood director and they had a conversation with him and and so that's where that social cachet fucking matters because Hollywood is really 400 blocks by 400 blocks and that's fucking it.
It's
So
like
all of a sudden
3,800 people who it's essentially a high school.
Yeah.
And either you have a class with those people or you know someone who has a class with those people.
And so
that
now,
is Hollywood.
And so now when he's fucking lighting you up and now they can talk about you and you can talk about them.
Yeah.
And like,
So relevant to Kevin Smith. So this happens, and the next chapter I know about is that you get assigned or you choose to review Red State without any resolution.
Speaking of Twitter, what ends up happening is some fan who is a mutual fan of both of ours, when what Kevin Smith does, he goes, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to show Red State to 50 of these fucking bloggers. I'm going to show it in my living room to 50 fucking bloggers, and fuck you. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to show it to these bloggers. And
because he's also angry at traditional Hollywood distribution. This is around the time that he does the thing.
Again, one retweet. This is 2010 for you. For those of you not playing along with the Kevin Smith home game, he just publicly invited me to a screening of Red State.
Oh, because he vaguely said bloggers? What
happened was somebody said, you should invite Massa Worm.
Oh, I remember that
would
tweet.
Be fucking hilarious.
I remember that
and
tweet.
He retweeted it with, ha ha ha, wouldn't that be great? Yeah, of course Massa Worm is invited, but I would understand why he wouldn't come, so the ball is in his court.
Oh, shit. So he just doubled down on his own.
So I pick up the phone and I call Harry Knowles and I go, Harry, dude, this is my Gonzo story.
Yeah.
Like, this is the story I've been looking for my whole career.
Yep.
You gotta let me go. This guy is unraveling in front of our eyes. The story is about me involved in his bullshit.
That's the other part of the story that I forgot is this is the time, this is before, and I deeply loved Red State. This is back when you could say, well, he used to be a thing, now he's not a thing, he'll never be a thing again. I guess the Kevin Smith story is over.
And he's about to premiere Red State at fucking Sundance.
Yeah.
Which we are in the middle of Sundance right now. So he's about to show it at Sundance, and so he's like, I've got to do this. And so I'm like, Harry, can you send me out there? And Harry's like, done. I'll pay for your flight, but not your hotel. And so
B minus.
No,
Because it's the greatest story ever.
Ain't It Cool News? Ain't It Cool News is huge, but Ain't It Cool News money, internet money is not huge. Like, everybody thinks we're bigger than we are.
So
So I had become friends with a guy who is a director, who is a fan of my writing, named Scott Derrickson.
Wow.
And I email Scott and I go, hey, Kevin Smith wants me out to see his movie. Can I you told me you had a guest room in your basement. Can I come and crash in your basement?
Oh, that's amazing.
And Scott's like, of course you can, dude. That would be great. I would love to hang out with you. We'll drink and hang out all weekend and all week, and you can do this thing.
Also, in the fine line categories of whether he invited you or dared you to come out, I feel like it might have been a little bit of the latter.
It was a little bit of the latter.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah.
He threw down the fucking gauntlet and like, fuck you. You don't have the guts to be out here.
Yeah.
So I end up, what ends up happening is me and my wife made a pair of friends at a convention just that summer called Convergence. We still go to Convergence. We love it. And they were like, hey, we've never been to Vegas. We'd love to go to Vegas. In the same vein of an earlier story, we can't afford to do it alone. Would you share a hotel room with us? And we said, yeah, sure. We've never been to Vegas. Let's do Vegas. So we go to Vegas, and we're having a big Vegas adventure with our two friends. And I'm tweeting about my first time in Vegas. And then Scott Derrickson tweets at me. This is a week before I'm supposed to go out for the Kevin Smith thing. And Scott tweets at me, and he goes, dude, I'm in Vegas. We should get together and drink.
Is that how you guys hooked up?
This is the night I pitched him Sinister.
No
I
shit.
pitched him Sinister at the Mandalay Bay.
Because of Kevin Smith daring you?
No,
different time. Okay,
It's
got
this is a
it.
week
Okay.
before that.
Got
This
it.
is how this ties
For
in.
some reason, I thought they were like stopping
This is
on the
a
way over.
multifaceted story.
This is the like when you asked me about
This
this
is a
earlier, I'm
fucking
like,
Hey,
open.
Brushwood, if you can't keep up, man, that's on you. I got it.
So we end up at the Mandalay Bay, and he pitches me this idea that he's pitching, who I don't realize he's pitching to Jason Blum. He's just pitching to Roy Lee, because they both want him to make a low-budget independent film. And he asked for my professional opinion. I give it to him. And then I'm like, you know what? I've had this idea rattling around in my head for a few years. Let me bounce it off you. And he goes, all right, what is it? And I pitch him Sinister. And at the end of the pitch, he goes, holy fuck, I want to make that movie. I know exactly who wants to make that movie. And he goes, you're coming to L.A. next week to see Kevin Smith. Can I pitch this to Jason Blum and Roy Lee? And then when you're out next week, if they like it, we do the full pitch. And I said, yeah, sure, whatever. He's okay. Write a 4 to 5 page synopsis.
If this scratch off says $5, will you split it with me?
So he says, he literally says, write me a 4 to 5 page synopsis, submit it to the WGA, send it to me, and I'll take it around. And so the next day, he's the reason he's in LA is in Las Vegas. He's there for a poker tournament. Poker tournament's in my hotel. So as I'm walking down through the lobby, I see the poker tournament.
Wait, he's there playing in the poker tournament?
Yeah, because he's a poker player.
Oh, I didn't know
He loves
that.
poker. He became friends with the Unabomber, the guy who dressed as the Unabomber.
Yeah.
And who that guy taught him poker. And so he would do a bunch of poker tournaments at the time, and in particular. So I see the poker tournament going on. I'm like, oh, Scott. There's Scott. I walk over. I'm like, hey, dude. And he's like, hey, I'm out of this hand, but I'm about to pop back in. But hey, do me a favor. Write a 4 to 5 page treatment, submit it to WGA, and I'll take it around this week.
How complicated is that to do, to submit to WGA?
Super easy.
So it's
Anyone
not
can
like
do
you
it.
got to be in a guild or
$20
anything?
and you
Okay.
submit it and
All
it's
right.
done. And so I get home the next morning. It's 2 p.m. I'm in bed. I'm passing out. Phone rings and my wife comes in and goes, "It's Scott." And I'm like, "Okay." And I'm like, "Hey Scott, what's up?" He goes, "Hey man, I understand you're probably Vegas. You probably just got home." But I'm really serious about this, so write a 4 to 5 page treatment, submit it to WGA, and I'll take it around this week. I'm like, oh, dude, this fucking guy's serious. So I went to sleep, woke up at 10 o'clock at night.
Oh, so you blew off the first time he asked
No,
for it.
it's not that
Okay,
I blew it off.
It's
not that
the
I blew
Kevin
it off.
Smith story. I know this is the
Hold on,
Sinister
this
story.
this all
It
plays
all
in.
ties together.
It all plays in. Trust me, my friend. So he ends up but by the third call, I'm like, holy shit, this is a
It's
real
gonna be
thing.
7-hour after show.
It's almost done.
Yeah, no, we're
just keep
getting
interrupting.
close.
Are
We're
we
getting
there?
close. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
So I write it. I submit it to him. He takes it out. That Wednesday, he ends up pitching it to both Roy Lee and Jason Blum. They both are interested.
Right.
Knowing full well that next Monday I'm going to be in town.
Right.
So I come into town, and me and Scott hang out. Everything keeps getting bumped around to the Kevin Smith thing. Like,
Yeah.
1 minute it's at his house, and then it's like, no, we're going to do it at the Smod Castle on Wednesday. And then it's like, oh, the Smod
Audio
Castle.
listeners probably missed the eye roll as he said that.
Yeah. And then it's like, a day later, it's like, oh, we can't do it at the Smod Castle. We're going to do it at this theater. And it's like, you realize that along the way, people are grabbing him and going, Kevin, you can't show it in your house. This isn't a neutral place. No one's going to take this seriously. Oh, show it at the Smod Castle. Kevin, you can't
That's
show it at
just
the
a
Smod
bigger
Castle.
version of your
bigger
house.
version of your
Yeah.
house. You have to show it at a neutral location. So effectively, I ended up flying out for what is a press junket.
Yes.
Like, it is not watching this in his house. This is not having.
So you go into the movie already kind of arms crossed, like, the hell is this? Come on, man.
dude, what
This
the
is
fuck?
this
You
is
invited
on
me
the
out.
opera.
You invited me
Well,
out
no,
for
no, no.
Gonzo.
No, yeah,
Yeah.
because he's going there for the emotional, personal train wreck
Right.
of like, no, he let me into his house, and then we had it out in his kitchen
Yeah.
about like that shit.
Or whatever the fuck
Because
happened.
that's the story.
Yep, yep,
That's
yep,
the
yep.
story.
Yeah. So what ends up happening is during that week while I'm there and he keeps putting it off, I do the meetings with Roy Lee and Jason Blum, and Jason Blum's like, I really want this fucking movie.
Yep.
I want to fast track it. I want to make this movie. And we end up selling that week Sinister. And that
While you're there,
While I'm there for
fucking
Kevin
Red
Smith.
State.
Yes.
Wow.
This is the beginning of my fucking career in Hollywood. Is fucking Kevin
Kevin Smith made your career.
Yes.
That's the ending. But meanwhile,
Correct.
you watch
So I go to Red State.
under I would say fairly hostile, predisposed to hate it.
Except I want to love every movie I've ever seen.
Sure.
I go into every movie.
And
no
I
matter
believe
how
that about
terrible.
you. You
This
are
is-
without guile.
This is why I made my career as a critic, because I walked into everything saying I want to love this.
Yep.
Because
Yeah.
you know what? No one who is not a film critic who puts down his $10 at the fucking box office
Wants
to
to
buy
come
a ticket.
away sad and angry.
Yeah, nobody wants to hate the movie they're watching. It's
No.
such
Yeah.
everybody wants to come away being surprised, being shocked, loving their experience. Nobody works all week so they can go to a shitty movie.
Yep.
So I walk into every movie wanting to love it the way that every audience loves it. And so I walk into Red State that way. But it's like, this is my Gonzo experience. So I watch the movie and it's fucking Red State. And then before it starts, we were promised an intro by Kevin Smith, that Kevin Smith would be there and that Kevin Smith would do a Q&A. So someone walks up at the beginning. Kevin Smith is picking up a friend from the airport. He won't be able to be here for the intro, but he will be at the end of the film.
For the Q&A.
For the Q&A. And I'm like, did I literally fly out to L.A. to see a Q&A by fucking Kevin Smith?
Yeah.
Like, is this what just fucking happened? Really?
Wow.
Fine. So
But that's better than just the intro, right? Like, it's better
Yeah.
than him just doing the intro and then
yeah,
leave,
fine. Yeah,
right?
it's more of the story, right?
Yeah.
So like as if there was no way you could be more primed to find fault in it, to complete the last, because first of all, you were the 1,000th cut of critics that drove them nuts, and this is the 1,000th cut of Kevin Smith's movies, and the way you're treated, right? So
Yep.
you could not be more primed to want to shut everything down at this point. And
So-
instead,
what ends up happening is I end up watching the movie and really liking it. I love the movie. I really enjoyed the fuck out of it. I still really love Red State.
I loved it too.
I think it's easily his best since Chasing Amy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Kevin Smith
I would
walks
even
out at the end.
I would even say, actually, as far as relevance for today, like I don't find I haven't watched Chasing Amy, but I try to watch Clerks again now, and it's like it's not relevant to 2016 the way it was at that time
No.
when I first saw it. Whereas Red State, I think like at this moment,
you
if
know
you're
what
gonna
line
watch one,
sticks out?
Huh.
You mean I have to drink this coffee hot? Like iced coffee is such a thing now that line seems really weird.
Yeah, right.
It's like, really? Somebody has a problem with, I don't understand.
Yeah.
But so I
17,
watched the
yeah.
movie. Kevin Smith comes out to do the Q&A, and he's exhausted. Whether he's high or exhausted, whatever. I swear to God.
He's
this
got
is-
nothing. He's got no defenses.
I am in the front row of a 50-seat theater.
Yeah.
This is literally the who's who of alternative press in fucking LA. And he walks up to me and he goes, "Excuse me, sir. I'm really tired. I can't stand up in front of this crowd for this. Can I take your seat and kneel down on your seat?"
This is during the movie or
At the Q&A.
at the
Q&A.
Q&A?
Before the Q&A. And I'm like, all right. So I go over to sit on the fucking stoop.
Wow.
I'm sitting on the fucking stoop because it's the only seat available at this point. While Kevin Smith sitting in my chair is
Do
doing
you
the
do
Q&A
you
to
have a
everyone
sense
behind
that
me.
he knows who you are?
No.
Oh,
No.
none. Yeah.
So
Not at all.
you believe that he does not know who you are.
No, and I know, and in the after fact, that is not what is the case. So, so I listen to the Q&A. He does the Q&A, and then after the fact, he's like, "I'm going to hang out and answer any questions that anybody has."
That's sort of how Q&A works, but
yeah. Well, no, because most of the time, no.
yeah, I mean, it ought to be, but yes, no. Normally, he takes
the
one
Q&As
question.
No. They take a number of questions, and they're like, "Thank you very much. I'm out," and he
Yeah.
leaves, and maybe you catch him in the lobby.
Yeah.
He did the Q&A and then stuck around to do personal stuff
Yeah,
with people
no,
after.
because
which is what this is.
And was it on the record or off the record?
Off the record. Well, I mean, it was what it was.
I mean,
it depends.
he knew he was talking to bloggers, but also
Yeah.
he had defenses down and was telling
Yes.
the truth.
That is
Yeah.
exactly what
Okay,
it was. So
yeah.
I walk up to him, I'm like, Kevin, and he goes, hey, man, hey, thanks for your seat. And I'm like, no problem. My name's Massa Worm. And he goes, oh,
Yeah.
you're one of those guys I got really high to and argued on the internet with, aren't you? And I said,
Yeah.
yeah. And he goes, yeah, I do that. I'm sorry, man. I mean,
Here's my favorite Cargill moment.
I get really bothered by some of the stuff I read, and I'm really sorry. I shouldn't have done that. And he goes, what did you think of the movie? I said, I loved it. And he goes, really? After all the things I said about you? And I said, yeah, it's one of the best movies you've done in years. It's fucking great. I loved it. He goes, seriously? I said, yeah. He goes, dude, that's so cool. I'm so glad you came out for this. And I was like,
and then
all right.
Cargill,
And then
Cargill says,
and I said, can we hug it out? And he goes, yes, we can. And we hugged it out. And then I went back home and I wrote up this review that we have had on the screen here for a while, where I positively talked about the film and how much I really enjoyed the film. And he then tweets about it that day going, holy shit, this guy, Massa Worms,
had every reason.
Yeah, had every reason to hate me. I said all this terrible stuff about him, and then he goes and writes an incredibly fair review about my movie. This is what professionalism in film review is. I'm so happy that I got to meet this guy.
Flash forward to the last Kevin Smith thing I saw was
Batman and Batman?
Yeah, was
About Doctor Strange?
Yes. And I'm wondering, I have not watched it, but I want to know how much of it was him. He's like, I made that guy.
He never,
I
he
made
never
it
met,
by
he never
abusing
mentions
this
me
child.
at all. But his eyes are bright red. He's high as the fuck. He's in Canada shooting whatever he's shooting right now, and he clearly is madly in love with Doctor Strange. He talks about, look at this face. Like that is not the face of a sober man. Like I spent time.
But it is the face of a happy man.
Let's hear a little bit of this.
As Groot, you know what I'm saying? Like the fun object in the movie that's a vis effect that helps one of the main characters. Some people would say it's kind of like more like his fucking Iron Man
He's a little high.
suit, don't you think, dude? Yes, I guess.
Higher than
little
usual.
high.
There's very Beauty and the Beast that way and stuff, but I love that addition.
talk
of
about the cloak.
Cloak of Levitation. I'm a big Doctor Strange fan, and they had every element that I wanted to see it play in this movie. Let's take it from the top. Benedict Cumberbatch did a wonderful job. We all knew he would the moment they cast him as Strange.
All right.
Yeah, you can see how high he is. At that moment.
But
So-
happy and in love with the movie.
And imagine what it's like full circle for me. My very first film class in community college to be told to go watch this movie Clerks. And then to have my movie come out and to watch that Fat Man and Batman with a Scotch in my hand with my wife going, is that a Kevin Smith thing you're watching? It's like, yes, honey, just give me a moment. I'll be in the room in a minute. I need this for myself. And watching him like almost in tears, talking about how much the 4D experience changed him as a human being.
4D?
Yes.
Oh, just shake. Oh,
I almost flew out for a 4D experience.
Wow.
Okay, please nobody go to a 4D experience.
Apparently the Doctor Strange 4D experience was amazing.
Hey, yeah,
Is that
says the
D-Box?
man who was down again on 3D until he's like, but Doctor Strange will be different.
Hold on. 4D,
no.
literally, when you are out, apparently when you are in the scene where the Ancient One is in her astral form talking to Doctor Strange about the end of her life, it's snowing on the audience. Like
okay.
it is.
I
Just flew out for that.
Get high and go see 4D.
That's what he
I bet
did.
that shit would be amazing.
No. The thing that turned me off to 4D forever was a 4D review of Batman versus Superman, where it is like raining and terrible the entire fucking movie.
Oh, it's miserable, just like the movie.
Yeah, so it's like
Ah!
you are made miserable.
Who is
in
Night
the same
Attack? Is that
way.
you?
Yeah.
Motherfucker. Maybe when the story is over, fuck off.
No. They're talking about doing a music video breakdown.
I talked to you about this beforehand. I said, this is a really long story.
No.
No, my God, no.
Worth it, though.
This,
Worth
I'm not. No, I'm
this
not.
is
I'm not. digging anything.
the fucking Gone with the Wind of after shows. Ladies and gentlemen,
Dude.
boys and girls, see
See
Robert Cargill.
We want to drink some more private talk and drop the N-word, so we're going to shut down the stream.
Oh, we are okay.
Oh, I think you wanted to do one more thing.
Oh.
Well,
You want to
some
do
people
a
are thinking
music video breakdown?
doing a music video breakdown.
You know what I want to do is stop sitting up straight. So I say we wrap this up and we do the after secret party for the four of us, and that's it.
All right.
Also, totally joking about the N-word. I was just trying to think of something that...
That was really offensive, and I want no part of that after party.
I was just trying to think of something that we
That's
wouldn't
the
do on
Trump
the
after
stream.
party.
Yeah, man, it's a little exhausting to know the camera's on you the entire time and to know that that someone else is doing it and you're filtering and you're trying to think of how can I make this interesting. I kind of want to be like Kevin Smith and say like, "Hey, man, can I sit down?" Oh, that's Mike Cargill, Kevin Smith. Hey, brother, can I?
Well, why did you just
Let me
go
tell you
full
something,
on?
brother.
Murder pit.
The Hulkamania shirt is always here.
Do you
You
hear?
still have the shirt.
Look, I don't remember what shirt.
Doesn't look like anything to me.
There may be a shirt. I may show up with it at some point in a future episode.
All right.
Apparently everybody's saying goodnight, so I guess that's good night, everybody.
Hey, love you guys. Thank you to the 132 of you guys. If you're just watching for the first time, why don't you join us, follow us, so we can get partnered on Twitch and make money. Love you.
Bye, guys. Love you.
Love you guys. Bye.
Thanks, guys, for coming out.